It has been nearly 3 weeks since flooding caused dozens of senior citizens to leave their apartments. Tonight, there is still a question of when they'll be able to move back home. Rose Schmidt shares how these last few weeks are weighing heavily on these residents and their families. Rose?
Eric, the time away from home caused an unbelievable amount of stress for some of the 100 displaced seniors. The timeline of when they'll be able to return keeps changing. In the meantime, they've been staying at shelters or with friends and family, since many of them are disabled and have limited income. And for some of them, the stresses just keep piling up. It has been a tough week for Denise Karras and Lynette Rasmussen.
I needed you here beside me.
Their sister Linda passed away Friday. She was 64 years old.
Linda was very much an advocate for anyone who was disabled.
News 3 interviewed her just 2 weeks ago after she and more than 100 other residents were evacuated from the Prairie Park Senior Apartments because flooding destroyed the building's electrical system. Everyone who lived there was 55 or older.
I'm proud that I am trying to fight to maintain my independence for as long as I can, and that I can pay for my own way. And this is not helping.
After she was evacuated, Linda had to stay at Denise's house in Evansville, where she did not have the special bed and toilet seat she had at Prairie Park. She and others tried for several days straight to get belongings out of their apartments, but were unsuccessful.
We feel that between the stress and the inconvenience, the lack of facilities that she was living with, that it contributed to her death. And we're quite convinced of that.
We reached out to Prairie Park for comments.
I need to ask you to look now.
Okay.
They referred us to the corporate communications team.
We're pretty upset with Prairie Park.
Linda's sisters still need to get the rest of her stuff from her apartment so they can plan her memorial service.
She tried to do good for people and make people happier.
They remember her as a caring and loving person who once worked as a devoted hospice coordinator and helped set up programs for grieving families and the elderly.
It seemed like the force of her personality was pretty strong. She was really a wonderful person, and we're going to miss her just terribly.
Yes.
The goal was for people on the first floor to move back in today, but the electric company's installation of the meters is taking longer than expected, so the earliest they'll be able to return home is tomorrow. People who live on the second and third floors will have to wait until the elevator works or something is installed to make the top floors accessible for people with disabilities. And that could take up to a week.
Boy, just unbelievable they've gone through there, and our thoughts are with Linda's family. It's a tragedy. Rose Schmidt in studio. Rose, thank you. Now, if you have not